Today on Unfiltered, we have fellow content creator Dades Gaming, and he is one of the only content creators that isn't afraid to speak his mind. So we're going to be talking those hard-hitting questions about Call of Dragons and his thoughts, obviously, on the game, and give you guys that feedback and a different perspective from another player in the community. So let's get into today's official episode of Unfiltered. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video on Unfiltered, and my special guest is no other content creator, Daddy Gaming, and in my alliance he likes to be the confuser, Mustard Wolf. So I'm going to give him the spotlight right now just to give him a little bit of an introduction to himself, obviously give his age on the game, right, how long he's been playing, what alliance he's in, and know a little bit more about himself.
I love the intro. It's Dade Gaming though, not Daddy.
Oh, Daddy, dude. You're all gonna be my Daddy, dude.
I get that so much. That was hilarious. Like I was legit rolling. I had to mute the mic.
Bro,
you have no
English
idea.
in me. I just read the name. It's just what it is, dude.
I get it so much. It's hilarious, especially if you know the other content I make. What's up, everybody? So yeah, I'm Dade. I make some content for Call of Dragons, and yeah, like you said, I kind of keep things confused as Mustard Wolf in the game. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Thanks, man. So basically, let's just go straight into the first question, right? About what made you start playing Call of Dragons?
Yeah. So, like I said, mine is a little more different probably than a lot of people that get into it. Is I make content, and I actually got a sponsorship for the game to stream it. So I streamed it, and I was like, I knew about Rock. I'd played a little bit, but I didn't really know anything about Call of Dragons. And I jumped in, we played it, and then I started playing off stream, and that was kind of like that moment, you know, when I knew I was screwed. I was like, "Oh crap, I'm playing it off stream," and kind of got the hooks in me. They got me.
No, dude, I get it, dude. I get it. Because I wouldn't say I was the same. I played like Rock, and then someone told me about it, and I was like, bro, if this is gonna be like a reset and hopefully it goes in a different direction, it should be like a fun game. And so far, it's been all right. So, you know, it could be better. It could be better. Let's just be real.
Sure,
But you know,
sure.
it has been good for so far, and that's kind of like going into the next question, because obviously I've played obviously Call of Dragons for over like 500 days, and I believe you've been playing Call of Dragons for over a year now. So like, what's your current thoughts on Call of Dragons?
Uh, oof. So I think the best way to put it is that it's in a decent state. Like it's like I love the game in a sense. And one of the biggest things, right, that keeps me playing is the social aspect, but there's features I love. I love the war and stuff like that. But I think if we took the game in its current state where it is, I think that it's in that transitional from like what it was into something new, and it's kind of in that okay stage. Like it's not I like if somebody was like, "Hey, should I go play Call of Dragons?" I would probably be like, yeah, if you wanted to, you know, if it looks like fun, but like I don't call my friends and be like, "Yo, bro, you got to get in on the Call of Dragons."
Yeah,
you know.
I get what you're saying. No, 'cause it is, I think, even like a really acquired taste to play this style of game. Because some people look at it and be like, do you like hate yourself at times? And you're like, yeah, sometimes, you know, that's why we play it, you know. But
Sure, yeah.
but we do hope for like improvements, and going into like the next question is kind of like a good example of where I think it's very divisive, right, on the SB2 map. So we know obviously how bad it originally was, and they've changed the spire locations, they've changed the number of spires in the map, and they've tried to open it up a little bit. But what's your thoughts on the Season B2 map and the whole season alone?
Still a trash map. like I mean, I get that they made changes, but I think that they were so minute that like they didn't adjust or impact the problem with this map. I think that obviously we all know choke points and small places. They take out a lot of dynamics of the play. Like everybody, it went to choke of dragon, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't mean that in like an SMM way. Just like this chokes. All right, guys, keep it clean.
PG boys, PG boys.
But they didn't address the big what I feel like is the issue with this trash map and why I think it's trash is that the it's a map that doesn't have allow for any type of like really fun play with the way that they do matchmaking. It's like it's basically came in as like they get two big powers like I'll just use our server as an example. So you get us and BDO, and that's basically the main card event, if you would. And then you get two mid-size, which in ours was RKO and Laws, and then they just throw in a bunch of smaller alliances from different servers. And then the map is split into two ways. It's west versus east, and that's what you get. Like that's the fight. And so if you look at it in that sense, it's like, okay, so the goal, I guess, is for one big one, one medium, and a bunch of smalls to like group up and make this even east versus west fight. But that means you're fighting who would be your homies for 2 months. So that's friendly fighting that way, right? Like you're friendly and everybody that plays the game knows friendly fighting is fucking garbage. It's not fun. Like friendly fighting is not fun, or it's drama. Like that's all that ever comes of friendly fighting. So in that sense, you've got 2 months of just sitting around, basically friendly fighting, farming, waiting to get to the main event. And I've never seen one that was very exciting. They usually went one way and one way fast. So that's not fun to wait that long and then get a quick fight, or like even if it's just a week, it's like, cool, I got a week fight out of one season. Like that's a boring way to do seasons. The other option is doing what we did, where you get and if you look, EIS and Road did this as well. Like you drop next to your enemy. Like I hate saying enemy. Your main opponent.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I hate saying enemy because it has that like, oh, I hate you. I'm coming for you and your family. I'm wiping out your bloodline. Some people treat it like that way too. It's wild. So then you drop next to them, right? And then that ensures at least you get in this map, the way this map is set up, you get two fights. You get a zone 2 fight where you're fighting for those things. And then basically zone 5 becomes the dragon, becomes the necro dragon, right? It's the giant. Like that's your main event. And that's much more exciting for the season totality, right? But the overall map, the season, the fight for the dragon, it's decided, it's done, it's whatever. It's whoever wins that. Well, not even always in that case, whoever wins that zone 3, but in most cases, it would be like whoever won that zone 3 or whatever would probably go in and get dragon. Maybe you fight a little from the guys on the other side, maybe. But in our case, even like we're teamed up with BDO and they're friends with RKO and Laws, and it's like, okay, what does that mean for the season? Nothing, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so I just don't like the dynamic of this map compared to like a circular map where there's multiple points of variation to create a dynamic season of like who could fight who and where. And as much as people bitch about betrayal meta or whatever or anything like that, but you can have more exciting matchups where there could be this random thing. Like if you took this group up that we had, right? And say RKO didn't align with anybody. Like we had no idea what they were doing. And we were on the last season's map. Like they could play a huge factor in what happens in the whole season just as like an independent medium clan.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying because it is true. Because like that's the one thing I've always wondered, especially when it comes into like it will be perfect in the next question, but when it obviously with the home kingdoms coming into the game and stuff, like it should eliminate the possibility of those like betrayal metas, right? On the aspect of like a lot of people obviously with this betrayal meta was saying they hated the fact that they didn't have this area they could like run to, hence why they made that truce zone originally, right? And then they restricted the resurgence mechanic. But now if you're able to just teleport back to your home kingdom at any point during the new season, after we've finished the one we're in, Like, is there really any need for like this Truce Island and like the resurgence mechanic anymore? Because if you're gonna get
They got rid of
betrayed,
them.
yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna get betrayed, you might as well just boom go straight back home, right? So there's no
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
for it anymore. So when it comes to like the next question, this is to do with those like migration changes, right? Do you think they're gonna
Mm.
benefit the game or do you think they're gonna hurt the game?
I think that okay, so this kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, where I feel like the reason to play the game is social right now because of just their way that they have done the game and all the changes in the way that they do it. The only thing keeping a lot of people playing when you do it that way is their social aspect. And I think this helps that a lot. And I think it opens up some interesting stuff. And I think that overall I love the directions. Like I love the idea of homeworlds. I think they're going to be great. The 800 and the warband stuff, I'm still not sure on. That's new news and I haven't really processed what that could be. But homeworlds are great. My biggest concern remains with the way that they develop and the way that matchmaking has been so far is I feel like we're going to go into this and we're all going to be pumped up. We're going to be hitting that copium as we do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
love this copium, baby.
Definitely, dude.
and and they're going to completely foobar the first matchmaking season out. Like some people have fun, but most of us will get screwed because the devs here have this thing. Basically, they throw something out. They don't do a great job, or they only think of certain groups. Like not throwing shade at these groups when I say this, okay? Like they think about the Noir and BDOs and stuff like that when they do a lot of the work. And they're like, how do we keep these guys happy? But that leaves a big gap in how everything happens for everybody else. And so they'll go do it. And some people have fun, and the rest of us will bitch. And like, we'll complain. And they'll fix it because they've been great about that. But they'll go too far one way. And then, so it'll be 2 seasons of like, okay, we're fixing all the shit that we've messed up. And then it'll be, we got it right. So I figure we're into like 2 seasons of probably suffering some kind of penance of for playing this game, and then it'll be okay.
Yeah, because I do honestly hope that don't happen, right? Because everyone would
Mm.
assume, like, even if like someone like Boss Nasty was on here, right, he would just say the same thing. Where surely, if you're creating these home kingdoms now, right, and you're setting up an actual structure with all these home servers, like the matchmaking process should be a lot better, right, to
How?
benefit everyone. Because they should, in theory, be able to like, tie the server to server and hopefully like I don't know. I'd say like matchmake it independently because they said they're gonna just choose right where you get dropped. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think is going to be the more interesting part about it. I hope
Yeah.
it does something right because at the same time, like I'm still as sketchy as you, where I'm like hoping this doesn't go south because even when it comes to migration like changes, like everyone kind of
Mm.
loved the 5,000 gems, right?
Oh
5,000
yeah.
gems is perfect because everyone
Mm.
had the accessibility to just migrate. But now
Yeah.
with the new passports getting added in, I already knew how expensive those were in Rise of Kingdoms, like
Right.
425 play
Right.
myself. Like, I can't imagine how, I don't know, the next coming months, even if they do, say, maybe have a really good I don't know, home kingdom matchmaking system, and somehow it's the dream scenario
Mm.
for the company, right? Somehow, if that happens, I'll give everything away. However, it still doesn't change like the next fact, which is like the game's pay to win scale, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
comparing it to a free to play player to a pay to win, like, and I'm gonna pass it on to you, like how drastic is that, difference between both players?
I think it's a big difference. Like this is the way I look at Call of Dragons is that it is a pay to win game, hardcore, but it's not a pay to play. And everybody's like, well, of course, it doesn't cost anything to play. But when I say it's not a pay to play, like conceptually, it means that you could play and have fun without really paying. Like there's still enough going on in the game, and a lot of their events aren't PvP related. Like there's plenty to do. You can do events, you can grow. It's slower, obviously, but you can have fun. You can be in a zone with another small person, fight. Like there's still opportunities for that in this game right now. but to win, to be at the top, like it's ridiculously pay to win. I mean, if you look at even with like the chest, like, you know what I mean? Like the chest and like, you know, the stuff that you get feeding into your alliance by paying. And if you compared somebody like a mid spender to a big spender, right? Like the in one march, like let's say that you and I both had Golgul and Gorish, right? But you only had one awakened and I had both of them awakened. Like I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
Like it's not even gonna be close.
No.
And then then you say, okay, cool. Well, now we both have them awakened, right? But I have a level 5 torque.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you we'll even be nice and say you have a level 1 torque.
Bro, I do have a level 1 torque.
Right. But I'm still gonna kick your ass now.
Yeah.
Just by that. And I think if you break it down with that data, that explains how pay to win it is. Like the in an ideal world, like a percentage gap makes sense, but a percentage gap where it's like, in a sense that without matter of a fact, doubt that you're going to kick their ass, not even just win, like it's going to be like a non-compete kind of action, that will tell you how pay to win a game is.
Yeah, no, it is insane because I did a video quite a while back which kind of shocked me because it was one of them where I could say like, okay, this game could be technically free-to-play friendly if it gave you X amount of heads, right, per year. Because I was like, okay, if I've played this game over a year, how many heads have I got, right? And I literally over a year would have only earned enough to awaken one hero. Like,
oh, right, yeah.
It's just like, how is that even a tangible factor for anyone? Because, like, in this game, you need definitely more than one hero to be playable, right? Especially as a free-to-play player. So, I agree with what you're saying, and I do hope, like, they figure out ways of just like making, even just like you say, like artifact events, like bring some quests in just so free-to-play players can just roll it like 10 or 20 times for free, you know, just because it's not gonna hurt them, dude, like, and you're most likely still gonna get purples.
I think that they overlook the fact that it'll help them, right? Because the more people that play the game keeps more people that spend on the game spending, because there's two benefits for it, right? Like us spending helps people that don't spend, right? You know what I mean? Like with the chest and other stuff, and we're helping our alliance. But if we start losing mid spenders or small spenders and free to play players, there's not as many people to fight. And I don't want to be in a game where it's just like I'm just fighting Nor.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? Like we're at this point where like with mid spenders and small spenders and stuff, we can still have a lot of fun fighting like a big alliance. Like I think that we have a good matchup with like a good example of that with BDO and us. BDO's been around longer. They're known for having, great troops and all that. And we're Gen 2. Like we haven't even been around as long. And we could go we may not win. I'm not even saying that, like, but we could go fight and have fun. And people that we have non T5s in our alliance that can go fight and have fun still. And make an impact by being on the field. In a few seasons from now, that won't be the case if they keep up with the way that it is.
Yeah, no, I feel that because it is. I won't lie, even for me sometimes when I'm playing, hitting these like T5 troops, especially when you was like in the ruins where you've only got one troop, it's savage because it's just like T4s. You're pretty much hitting, especially against like BDO. That we're fighting against at the moment. Like I'm hitting a T5 match pretty much like 90% of the time. Like, and that's been I think that's been generous. Maybe like 95% of the time it felt like I would touch a T5 match, dude. Like it's savage. So
and you're hitting their best. Like you know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like you're going in there. And 90% of the people you're hitting 2 awakened heroes and the best artifact because they're bringing in their best march, and that's what you're fighting. And that's what it's like for everybody.
Yeah, so like to finish things up, right? And this is kind of like the
Yeah.
fun question. So imagine you had the magic wand, you know? Imagine you were
Oh
Harry
yeah.
Potter, dude, and you had the magic wand, and
Leviosa.
you could Leviosa and do anything you would like right now with this
Yeah.
wand, and you could either change, add, do anything, but
Mm.
it could only be one feature to the game. What would you do?
Okay. So I'm gonna leave a lot of stuff that I probably would bring up. If you didn't know, I was a game dev for like 20 years. So there's a lot of things I would change, but I'm gonna leave it to what they currently have in the game. And I'm gonna say I would take my magic wand and I would change pets. I love pets. I love the conceptually the way they've implemented it is complete trash. Now it's
Yeah.
getting better. I love the some of the changes that they've made. Like I think it's better. But I'm gonna just go and say the one thing is that RNG in a game like this was made for the 80s. Like we are so fucking past RNG, and especially in a goddamn pay to win game. Like it is the most frustrating and immensely disappointing like feature that they've added that, and it doesn't have wolves. That's the second part.
Yeah.
But there's no wolves in its RNG. Like there's something wrong with this system. But
No, I get you, because that's the one thing I've actually always said myself, where, to be fair, and this is kind of like one argument where I said, look, I wouldn't mind the pet RNG if you technically gave me the ability to capture war pets, right? Because this is like, imagine playing Pokemon and then you've caught
oh
only
god.
your team of five, and then, you go to capture the sixth one, and Professor Oak just jumps out the bush and like slaps the ball out of your hand, like, no, dude. You're using those five. That's it. That's your Pokemon League team. It's like, bro, I didn't sign up for this, you know?
There's like the simplest fix that they could do. Like the simplest fix. They remove the RNG. You catch a fucking pet, right? Imagine this. It's level 1. And you level it up. And as you level it up, its stats get better. And it opens up new skill spots where you can put the skills. Holy shit. And to make money off of it, you could sell some pet skills, right? Like they could keep the thing where you have to level up each pet skill. I think that's a great way to do it in a pay to win scheme. So like you catch them, you release them, you get the skills, you level up your skills. But then the rest of it could just be like you level up, and then you could like buy XP potions to make it like level up faster when you're leveling. Like and there'd be no RNG, and it could take forever to get a great pet, like unless you paid. And so you would have this non-RG system that you grinded out that would keep people active in the game doing something. Holy shit. Oh my God, imagine that.
I know.
And there'd be no RNG, so nobody'd be mad. And you would still have something that people wanted to spend on. What?
I know. It's one of those things I've always said. It's like, I never understood, because to me, like, I'm a proper gamer, and for me, it's like, surely for a game, like, you want players to like spend as much time in your game, because like the more time a player spends in the game, either like obviously they fall in love with the game and like they'll just keep playing it, or maybe like a free to play might potentially put $10 in, right? They might.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just like, it's crazy to me that they're not allowing more systems that just give players accessibility just to the game, right? Because that's, I think, that was like my key word I always said was, accessibility. It just felt like this game wasn't accessible to players, which is really weird to say for a game.
You know what the weirdest part is? Season 1, it was.
Yeah.
They took like the biggest thing that I think they trashed was healing. Like they have screwed that up so much, and forcing the RSS healing and stuff like that. That has been the biggest pain in my butt when I look at this game, because it's basically, I hope I don't mind to say, it's basically cock blocking fighting.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't get the idea. Like, we want to play the game to fight, and they keep removing ways for people to get back in the fight, so they have to pay to fight, and it's like that's how you kill a player base.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they fixed it along the way, but that they wanted to go that direction. I mean, they've still, if you look at the policies and stuff from season 1 to now, they're still forcing RSS a lot more and removing free healing and trying to get you to do it. And I get why at some points, but like with a guild like alliances like Noir and stuff around, like you're trying to deplete, a resource in the game, but like you're balancing for the top 10% and killing the rest of everybody that's playing.
Yeah, no, I get you, honestly, because I agree with you, because it's just a weird, to me, it always felt weird all the way through, like how they just sold the whole premise of free healing and then nerfed it over
Mm-hmm.
time. It was like
Mm-hmm.
it was the one of the main selling points. I know many other content creators all said themselves, like, we came to play this game for free healing, and now
Mm-hmm.
the free healing's disappearing, right? So hopefully maybe they listen to the video and they might implement more free healing and actually bring fighting back into the game, because at the end of the day it is a war strategy game and you're supposed to be at war and you're supposed to be trying to fight, and if you're
Mm-hmm.
restricting even the free-to-play player from fighting, then like what you're doing, because those free-to-play players are kind of like, if you want to call them, like, the front load, right? They're the guys that will go out, get absolutely decimated, but you need that kind of, the unfortunate
Yeah.
fate for the T5
Yeah.
behind to kind of just get through and, punch through at times. So, honestly, it's been a blast having you on, dude. And for everyone out there, where can they check you out one last time on the YouTube?
AIDS Gaming. You can buy me there.
And there we
Don't do it
go.
though. You can just watch. You can just watch Sneaky and stuff. I just talk trash. Like it's literally all I do. I just talk shit.
No problem, dude. Well, anyway, guys, honestly, you have to try and check him out if you liked, this style of content. Anyway, you might enjoy his style of content. That's kind of the beauty of it. So, with that, this has been Unfiltered, and definitely it's been a very unfiltered episode talking about some controversial points on Call of Dragons today. So, honestly, thanks for coming on, my dude. And with that said, let's say stay safe, stay sneaky, guys, and remember to hit the like and subscribe for more videos.
Do it.